to bring the guard down.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Bring Your
Guard down
podcast. Sorry for a little hiatus. We had some technical difficulties last week, so we missed our podcast from last week. So we're back at it. Anyway, so how's it going?
Well, I don't know. Lots of situation happened 2 weeks. Lots of problem around the world, especially Canada. I don't know where we're going to go now. It's big trouble.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. I know you got the Chili con Carne now. He's the new prime minister.
Disaster.
I don't know how they put him inside over there. I didn't vote for him. You vote for him?
I don't vote.
How the fuck he get inside over there?
I don't vote
know.
because my vote doesn't really matter.
Mine doesn't matter either, but still, you got to take a shot.
The voting, it just tells people, make them feel that they have a say, but they have no say.
You got a good point.
So we have a friend of ours here today, John T. We call him JT.
James Taylor. No, that's
James Taylor. Yeah, you know him? Are you related to him?
No relation.
Yeah, no
relation.
What's his famous song? Welcome to.
Oh no, you got a friend. You got an enemy. A lot of those
you got to
numbers,
go to sleep. I listen to James Taylor.
Yeah,
it's the most boring artist in the planet.
Very bad. Eh?
2 minutes into the song.
Oh, you snooze. That's Geritol music.
Geritol, that's it for the old people. So yeah, speaking of old people, JT. So what have you been doing? Like, what's happening in your life?
Hey,
I like your shirt, by the way.
Lots going on. All lots of changes. Lots of activity. Lots of fun.
Yeah.
Lots of excitement.
Yeah, lots. Start from the top.
Yeah. Well, so where's
the change?
Hold on. Where are you born? Where are you born?
I was born in Niagara area.
So you're an Ontario. You're an Ontario boy.
But I spent most of my life in Western New York.
Oh, okay. Now we're talking.
Grew up between Canada and U.S.
So what do you mean? You lived in the U.S.?
Yeah.
How old were you when you what's the journey there back and forth?
Well, the journey was anywhere from about 8 years old to about 14, 15 years old. And then I was playing ball in the U.S. at that time.
Oh.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was playing the baseball in that southern tier of Buffalo, New York area.
So you pitcher or first base? What do you play?
For center field.
Center field. So you're fast then too.
Fast guy.
And you got a good arm, man.
Got a great arm, fast guy, but had a lousy bat.
Nobody could go. Hey, nobody could go all 3 bases with this guy. That's for sure.
You're gonna pick you down on a second base, third base, you out.
Yeah.
It's
sometimes, did you ever hit any home runs?
I had a lot of home runs.
So they call in hockey they call puck bunnies, eh? What do they call them in baseball?
Oh, never mind what they call them in baseball.
Okay. It's okay.
Wait a minute. Stop right there. I don't understand. I'm Italian. I'm from Calabria. What's this puck bunny?
So like in music, what do they call, we were in music for a
call them roadies.
What do you mean?
No, roadies are the people that move equipment. What do you call the people that
if it's a female singer
that chase you and wait for you outside your house?
There are 2 kinds. We call it 2 things. Groupie or slut.
Okay, well, we don't.
I think they call them the mafia.
That's another situation.
I never call them the second one, but the groupies. And in hockey, now the girls, they're like, it's a little bit funny because, like in the days when I was in the music business, right? These girls would like sleep outside my house and wait for me to come out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
now you do that. They go,
waiting for you to come home.
No, well, they would follow me to the grocery store. Like, it's crazy. It was a crazy time.
You know why?
And hold on a sec. Now, the girls, they pretend and then they get offended and then they say sexual assault. So the puck bunnies are the groupies of hockey players.
Oh.
Anyway.
I didn't realize that they exist. But I know why the girls used to come to your house.
Why?
Because I heard that your mother used to make the best ragu sauce in the neighborhood.
But that's
why.
That was I moved out of my house at 18, so.
Well, see, I'm right.
I made my own ragu bello. Oh. Anyway, so you played baseball and did you play at school level or league level?
I ended up playing. I got drafted when I was young, and I played in the AAA system with the St. Louis Cardinals.
So you're for real? How old were you when you got drafted?
I was 16. 16.
That's nice.
I ended up going down to Florida, living in Florida till I was 19.
Yeah.
And I played in the AA league, then the AAA league. So lots of good experience, lots of learning, lots of fun.
So are there any stories you could tell? I know there's maybe an audience you don't want to share the stories with, but anyway, it's going to be live anyway. It doesn't matter. So any like stories? Like we got tons of stories about our youth, but we had a guy here that's telling stories about when he was a teenager in our little community, and they would do midnight landscaping. So they go in the middle of the night, they would rearrange people's front lawns, plant trees, take trees out, excavate, interesting stuff, right? But so any interesting stories from your youth in playing baseball?
Well, there's always great stories. Yeah. I mean, probably the most outlandish story out there was we were playing a home game in St. Petersburg, and we had a very interesting guy who used to sing in the stands. He was an Afro-American guy, and man, he could belt out the songs and sing, and he couldn't get my name because my name is Thistlethwaite, so it's 14 letters. All the guys down there used to say to me, "What the hell are you down here playing baseball? You should be hockey. Your name goes from your elbow to your elbow. We only got little short sleeve shirts here." So they ended up abbreviating my name to Thwaite, TH''WAIT.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. So I didn't even have my full name on the jersey. Huh. So this guy starts singing out these songs, and he starts calling me twat. Like, what the fuck is going on here? It's like, this guy, you got to stop this. This is not good. This is not good. So I got this name thrown at me, and then the opposing team gets it. So I'm getting pissed off, like really pissed off. And I had pretty good hand-eye skills with the baseball bat. So we're on this side of the field. They're on this side of the field. I'm playing from the left side. I figure these guys are mouthing off. So I step back in the box, and I figure I'm going to drill one at the opposing bench. And sure as shit, did I hit a ball. And I hit this guy right off the head, like knocked him right back into the dugout. Oh, and it was bench clearing.
Oh, so, yeah?
Man, it was like crazy. I thought I was going to get arrested. It was just nuts. But out come all the bench clearing and the fighting starts. And this guy who started it all, this guy up in the stand singing, man, did he shut up fast.
Oy.
But it was, that was probably, an interesting time. But what a shot that was, man. Had I been able to hit the ball that well, that straight, that often, I probably would have made it right up through the whole big league.
Well, maybe they have to call you, they should have called you twat more often. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that's what should have happened. Then we could hit the ball better.
Even on the news, Johnny Twat, average 648.
That's right.
What a twat, eh?
I know. Well, anyway, there you go. So sometimes it takes a little bit of pornification words
for the nation.
Yeah, exactly.
In order to hit the ball properly.
But is it tough when you play those kind of league, right? I don't know. Because it sounds to me like that night became from baseball, you went to two things, hockey night in Canada and boxing night at Gillette. So you started all that because of your friend over there who can't say your name right.
Yeah, that was quite an interesting afternoon.
I'll bet.
The game ended pretty quick. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. So did you after you guys fight over there, throw a couple of shots, bring the guard down? You guys make friends after, have a couple of drinks together?
No, we became no, not in that case. That was
that only happens in hockey. You can beat the shit out of each other.
That did happen in hockey.
You can beat the shit out of
before I played ball, I did play hockey, and a good buddy of mine who actually is a lifetime friend of mine. This is when I was playing hockey. I was a very dirty hockey player. I played defense. I used my stick a lot. Ooh. I used to cross check. I used to butt in. I was just a filthy, dirty hockey player. And the one guy that was opposing team, Mark Wingrove, he took me into the boards on our end, and he slammed me. I thought, you son of a gun. So I skated down, the play's on the other end. I get the puck, I break down the right side. He gets it away from me. We get behind the net, and I take my stick and I ride him up in the boards, under the ribs, and crunch him. And he's a big son of a bitch. So I crunch him, he goes down. I figure, okay, I got him. I go down the other end of the ice. Who's behind me? He is. He grabs me, he beats the shit out of me, like creams me. So after that game, I stood outside the locker room, and I went to him and I said, hey, buddy, look, I want to apologize. What I did was wrong, and I apologize. I hope we can just walk away from this. Well, we've been friends like this for life.
Oh, that's a nice story.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's the way it is. When
so that's when I left. That's when I left to go play baseball. Baseball is safer.
Yeah. Sure. Well, you got to have big, to play hockey. That's for sure.
Why? What's the difference? I don't understand.
Because
you're a hockey man. You think hockey is a top sport.
It's a toughest sport. There's no out of bounds. Number one, you can't. There's no give in the boards. Like in boxing, you can go up against the rope and you can go back 5 feet into the ring
and then walk into a punch, knock you out for 14 weeks.
In hockey, there are no out of bounds. You walk it. You got to skate into walls that don't move. Give me a breath. 35 miles an hour.
That's fast. Yeah.
Come on. Anyway, it's okay. You guys, basketball, baseball, those are just sports. Because you know why people love those sports?
Why?
Because there's a hope anybody can go play baseball. You don't have to.
Wait a minute.
Hold on.
You're offending the guest.
Hold on.
Doesn't make sense.
Anybody can hit a ball.
Okay.
Anybody can put a glove on, stand in the middle field for 2 hours, maybe get one ball.
This could be a podcast for a month.
Hold on.
At least.
Hold on. You asked me a question. So my theory about why baseball, football, anybody can play football. You can have absolutely no talent, be overweight, stand there and bump into each other. And you have one guy that can throw the ball. Number two, that's why football, everybody can let's go play football in the park. You don't have to rent the ice. You don't have to get equipment. Soccer, same shit. Get a ball, kick it around. You can kick a tin can around. You can play soccer. Basketball, forget it. I think they should be equal opportunity, but let's lower the net down, and then everybody can play.
That's a good point.
Basketball, is another thing. Anybody can go play. There's a court on every corner. Hockey. If you can't skate, you can't play. Yeah. If you can't think, you can't play.
So it's like the guys on the Leafs.
Well, I mean, the Leafs. Leafs still. I'm not a Leaf fan, so to me, they're going to be done in 4 straight. Take it to the bank.
Adios, muchachos.
That's right. So anyway, that's my. That's why hockey. It's too hard. That's why people. I can't play this. How can I get into something I can't play? Baseball, football, soccer, basketball.
Okay.
Anyway,
we got a guest star here.
So if it's that easy, Tony, so you played hockey when you were young? Mm-hmm. You were a good hockey player?
No, I didn't play hockey. No, I coached. I never played.
CYO League, Catholic League.
Oh, so you got all this analogy about hocky being the tough game and stuff, but you never played.
Well, I owned teams. I owned a junior team. I played. I mean, I saw hockey at a high level. I have friends that are in the NHL, friends that were in the NHL. I have kids I coach that are in the NHL. And I can tell you, they're a special breed of skill and talent. No question about it. But what's your point?
The point I think that JT trying to make, first of all, number one, you think baseball is easy, right?
Yep.
We go in the parking lot right now. I get to JT, he going to throw the ball at you.
I'll hit it.
I'll give you a stick this wide, okay, a bat.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 feet wide. You're not going to touch that ball.
I'm going to guarantee I'm going to hit it.
No, because you got to have a hand-eye coordination.
I have hand-eye. It does. Listen.
That's not easy game,
You
Tony.
tell me, who's the highest player in baseball today?
What do you mean? Who's the best?
Highest paid player.
Highest paid player. Who gets the most cash?
Tiny banana.
You got Aaron Judge up there.
Oh, he's up there.
You tell me, and how much does he get a year?
Oh, he gets. I think his contract's about $650 million.
Yeah,
Guerrero just signed a $500 million.
$550 million. You got to be effing kidding me, dude. What planet?
I won't disagree with you that they might be a little bit overpaid.
A no skill, overweight, untalented individual.
That I disagree with.
See, I don't believe it.
Hold on a second.
Look at JT still in top shape.
What's his hitting percentage? Whoever, one of these $50 million. What is it, 30%?
No.
Oh, 40?
No, these guys are
300,
320,
310?
Some of these guys are hitting 50 to 60%.
You're telling me they got a 600 batting average? No chance. Not in a million.
Tony, you got a long season. It depends. It goes up and down.
Yeah,
right.
Big deal. Yeah. That's my point.
So how much money do you pay guys like Mitch Marner who can't put the puck in the net in the playoffs?
Well,
Good point.
I mean, come on.
I agree.
And how many games do you play? Comparison.
I agree. There are overpaid hockey players, but
I think athletes in general. Let's put it this way. I think athletes in general are overpaid. To be quite honest.
Yes.
If it were me and I was the owner, like we talk about, as you want to be an entrepreneur, you then act like an entrepreneur. If you can score a goal, I'll give you $1 million a goal.
Right.
But it's the $50 million, $60 million contracts. What happens if they take a shot and it knocks their knee out and puts them out for the season?
Gone.
Owners still got to pay.
That's the way it is, unfortunately. But I mean, even the top hockey player that is tougher, smarter, better, more skilled, better athlete doesn't even come close to the he basically makes what a low end baseball or basketball player makes, or football, different story, but because they're all dummies anyway, hammering each other, banging into each other. What do they know about anything?
They don't like football.
There's as Tony says these comments, right? There's a lot of bars on these windows and locked doors.
That's okay.
We're not in the greatest neighborhood, so
we're in a good. What are you talking about? We're in a great neighborhood. This neighborhood's dirty. Okay, well, we digress.
We do not digress. We're still involved in the sport, the conversation, number one. Okay,
all right.
Well, I'm not finished yet.
Hold on. How many
Mr.
people
Hockey.
agree with me? Just hit the like button or subscribe if you agree with me. If you agree with anybody else, go F yourself.
Look at the soccer player, okay? Some of these guys, they make $150 million 5 year.
Yeah.
Okay? They got to get on the field. 90 minutes, they got to run up and down, control the ball fast as they can.
I think those are the most skilled athletes in any sport.
I think they're
No
the best
chance.
shape. I think best
best
shape.
shape for sure.
Will you agree with that?
Totally
I
agree.
think they're a little
Totally
bit better. I know that Tony told me once they do what they call it dry land training in hockey. So not just everything on the ice. Now, in the old days, David Keon, Frank Mahavlich.
But you're not going to win with Tony. He was a coach behind the bench. He took too many pucks to the head. That's
sorry. How can you tell me that just because you can run around the field, touch the ball 5 or 6 times, and you get paid $50 million a year, that they're good athletes because they can run around?
No, but they don't just run around.
What do?
They got to jump. They got to understand
jump.
the game.
Oh, they got to jump.
People on the field. You got to jump and hit the ball with your head. You can't touch with your hands.
Oh.
You got to use your feet to control a ball like this, like a little bit bigger grapefruit.
No problem.
You got to shoot to make the ball curve.
Try controlling a puck that's 2.5 inches in diameter.
Half the goals I watch hockey, there's a bordello. This match, a bump over there, hit the guy's skate.
Tony, stand 90 feet away and have a ball come in 100 miles an hour.
Thank you very much.
And it's moving left and right and dripping up and down.
Yeah, you tell me one player that can kick a ball 90 miles an hour. No chance. Anyway, it's all good. It's all good.
90 miles an hour is a baseball coming in, not a soccer ball. Come on.
Try stopping a puck at 105 miles an hour. Give me a
look
break.
at all the padding you got on. It's easy. Come on.
Everything.
Come on. You got a glove. You got a blocker. You got a stick this wide.
Dude, I was watching the baseball players the other day. They got the goalie mask on. They got body armor. They got shin pads.
That's because
they
that ball travel fast.
They got elbow pads.
Right?
They
JT.
got neck pads. They got all kinds of pads. Pads probably we don't even see.
If that ball hit you in the elbow smash, you're going to break your bones.
Tony, I would put you in a baseball simulator and let the ball come in at 65 miles an hour. You'd probably be swinging around like a kid, spinning around like in a playground.
You hit the ball?
Of course I hit the ball.
Oh, you got good coordination then. Pretty good.
What do you mean? How hard is it?
Okay, the challenge on.
For me, it's hard.
Here's the thing. You think that baseball players, they can actually see the ball coming and they put the bat where the ball is? No,
I heard
they
they do.
guess where the ball's going to go.
Come on,
and they swing at it. Oh,
now we're going to digress.
Boom.
Now we're digressing.
Let's ask between us three right now, Tony.
Not gonna win
JT got more the closest professional, right? JT, I'm asking a question. Is it true that those batter, when they wait for the ball, they can see the seam sometimes?
Yeah, okay.
They see it.
Sure they can.
Yeah, but there's not a lot of knuckleball pictures left in the league.
I know that's an old style game, I know, but they can see it, right? You're not going to see a fastball, right?
They're not just sticking the bat out. These guys have got great hand-eye coordination.
See what I mean, Tony?
You should get Jose Batista in here. Have this conversation with him.
A break. I tried to get him, but he's in Dominican in jail. I think I heard last I heard from him. He's ran out of money, and he ran out of money, and he tried to join a men's baseball league there. They were going to give him like $100 a week, and they couldn't afford him. $100 a week, he turned it down. Anyway, Batista. So
don't jump.
Boxing, I would say boxing or MMA, those
now
kinds
you're talking my sport.
Yeah, then I give you a little bit of credit. Almost as tough as you tell me one other sport where people do bare knuckle fist fighting in the middle of a game.
Well, bare knuckle
fist fighting in the middle of a hockey game.
That's very popular right now. Bare knuckle boxing, they call it.
Sure.
Especially Europe, number one. The States and the south part of Florida, they fight. You got nothing on, my friend. You got to fight.
But that's what hockey players do every game. What are you talking about?
But they got a helmet, a shoulder pad, elbow pad.
You don't punch in the shoulders.
Come up to here, and then please don't get me started. I watched the hockey the other night. They got a penalty. One man short over there. They got four guys in front of the goalie, and then one goalie over here. They collapse inside like this. Where are you going to put the little puck over there in the net? There's no space, and the goalie wears a futon on one leg, a futon on the other leg. Pickups. He got a mattress on the chest. right?
And
then you got a space helmet over here, and he's 7'2".
That's it.
Right? And then you got the glove like this, the blocker. I believe it. And then the glove over here looks like a Damigiano for the wine. God, so we put the cheese with provolone. Please, and now how the puck is it going to go inside the net? You tell me hockey's the number one. Okay, 1 defenseman, 2 defensemen, 2 forward. Then everybody lay down, block the puck. Okay, I'm waiting for the game to finish because I sleep. No goals are going to come in. And
so
then
I take
bounce off the post. They hit the goalie in the ear, hit the defenseman, and the ball's goal, and they win overtime. Cool.
I don't know.
Tony, you don't talk right?
You don't like hockey, I take it.
I don't mind the hockey when I got nothing else to do,
right.
But my sport is box.
So, JT, you played up here. Let's go back to...
Holy
JT, we made a major left turn over there talking about the different sports, but ultimately, you know, you're the guest, you're the main host.
He's a professional.
No, you're the main host, so whatever you say doesn't stand. So, so you know, did you go to school?
Yeah.
Where'd you go to university?
So I went. So when I finished up playing ball, I came back and I stayed on the Canadian side and ended up going to Brock University.
Oh yeah.
Because when I came back, I finished baseball. So when I was in baseball, I had an opportunity to meet one of the great legends of baseball, Lou Brock, and who's a Hall of Famer, and he could see the ball, Tony. Actually, so we won't go back to that.
Yeah, sure. Back then,
so,
you know.
So Lou Brock was very instrumental in my life as a young guy because he had a company at that time that he had started. His career was over, and he was my base running coach, and you know it was a great opportunity to have a Hall of Famer as a base running coach, and he had a company called Brock Umbrella. And the Brock umbrella was where you wear the baseball hat. It was like an umbrella.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
But he'd logo everything. So it really got me into that whole business of going into the premium and incentive business. And that was really what sparked me from that.
That's interesting.
It's kind of really cool.
I was going to ask you, so your inspiration, because you made me laugh about a running coach. To have a coach that teach you how to run around the bases. Sorry. Holy shit. I have a coach that coaches me how to run the bases.
Yeah.
You run. Anyway, sorry, I had to laugh. But yeah, I was curious about, I was going to ask you about how you got into sort of your, like you've been a serial entrepreneur yourself, right? You've been in business your whole life. You never really worked for a company, right?
Yeah, I did. Actually, when I finished university, I decided to get into the corporate life. And the reason I did it was I did it more so for the learning of a big company. And then, the discipline of what a big company can teach you. And I learned a lot of that in baseball because being a team sport, I mean, you're one of 9 people on the field. So it really becomes a team sport. It's not an individual sport. So I figured getting that training in university would have been a great, having the university training first of all, and then from there getting into the corporate experiences where you learn some great things, great discipline. So I worked for companies like I worked for Nestle for a number of years. I traveled internationally with them. Yeah, great company. Spent some time in Europe working on some different businesses. In the interest, I spent some time with PepsiCo, spent some time with Black & Decker. So I worked around and felt that not staying in any one job was the right thing to do because I got a good breadth of experience by different trade channels and different businesses, and really took a look at what they did right, what they did wrong. And it's kind of interesting because when you're in these big corporations, you get these marketing departments and so forth, and they're spending money like crazy, and it's other people's money. Right. So the learning I got out of that was, geez, when you go into your own business, you really got to think about every dime you spend. And, do you need to spend it? Do you want to spend it? Do you have to spend it? It was funny, sitting in corporate meetings was often I'd sit there and people would say, what's your budget? What's your budget? What's your budget? And for knucklehead marketing people would say, well, I got $100,000 budget. And guess how much you spend to? $100,000 plus. Yeah. So coming out of the experiences of the corporate life, it was good training ground. It was like being, coming out of the baseball training, learning to be a team player, especially in that level of baseball. And then getting in the corporate life, it was being a team player inside departments and inside different areas of what your career elements would be. So that was a real good opportunity, and I spent about a dozen years of my career in corporate life.
So, and that would have been how many years ago, would you say?
Oh man, that was about 3 decades ago.
3 decades. So, and you're still at it. So what do you think is the biggest difference between how businesses run, even corporate today, than they do last? Like what do you see as What do you see as a major shift, and what do you prefer, the old way or the new way?
Well, I think the new way has certainly got so many new dynamics to it. I mean, we'll sum it up this way. What used to take 5 years to get done can now take 5 months, 5 weeks, 5 days, 5 minutes. When I get down to saying 5 minutes, I mean, you turn your phone on and you can speak in and say, I want to do a business plan, and AI will tell you how to do a business plan in seconds. So it's really the changes I've seen, the dynamic changes I've seen, is just the time to get to market just keeps shrinking and shrinking and shrinking, which is kind of fascinating, because I think for the entrepreneurial guys, they can work a lot faster. The big corporations, it's like being on the Titanic trying to rearrange the chairs. I mean, you got to turn that big boat, and it's very, very difficult. And then I think with the changing dynamics of what these big corporations do with people, one other element I'll say about that, Tony, is that, it used to be the old way, as you'd put it, was you'd get great training. You'd have, whether you're Procter & Gamble or you're Nestle or you're PepsiCo or you're Coca-Cola, you got great training. They spent time, effort, and money on training their people. Now it seems, and they invested in you. And when you had your job there, you'd feel confident to stay there. I see now, in terms of talking around all kinds of younger people who are coming through the system, there's no loyalty from either side anymore. It's like, geez, I'm going to jump my job because whether it's I get $50 more a week or $100 more a week, it doesn't seem to be loyalty anymore. And these big corporations is like, well, you know what? Our business is down, so let's cut everybody. It's like, this is total bullshit.
I have a question, JT, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Okay. I like what you're talking about now. It makes sense. Even boxing world is changing too. But I understand. You said the AI. How come you have advantage when you use AI? Don't other companies use AI too? So he has the same advantage?
Yeah.
How are we going to take a chance and push up a little better than the next company because of AI?
Yeah.
We have access, right?
Yeah,
like my training boxing, a lot of guys have the same access to me. So I have to go back to the old way in Russia, do kinesiology,
It's interesting you say that. It's because when it comes to technology, I'll always refer to myself as a dinosaur when it comes to it.
That's okay.
I try to do what I can to learn as quickly as I can.
Good.
But you've got so many of these. I mean, some of these younger people coming up. I mean, you get 10-year-olds that probably know more than most
smart
guys my age walking around and learning access to it. Yeah. I don't know where AI is going to go. I mean, it's interesting, as having spent some time in the food service business with PepsiCo, I was around the restaurant business for a good number of years. And there's a company in Oakville right now doing a phenomenal job on doing robotics. And I've been in their factories. As a matter of fact, I'm investing in their business. And the robotics that they've got in designing now is just incredible. They've got robots that are behind a quick service restaurant counter in an Italian pizza pasta shop. And these robots literally take the whole order. They put the pasta in the water. They take it out. They shake it. They plate it. They sauce it. They cheese it. They hand it over to you at the counter. I'm going, this is crazy. Like, this is like, when you really think about the dynamics and the changing dynamics that we're going to have, what worries me about that whole thing is we displace all these jobs with all these robots.
That's right.
What's next? So when you ask about AI and changing and, what's the next generation of two things? What's the next generation of entrepreneurials? What are they going to be and what's it going to look like? And the corporate guys, I have no idea. I have no answer to that.
Well, look what happens. You don't fail to innovate. If you don't plan to succeed, you can plan to fail. So you have to innovate. You have to look at the trends. You have to see what's happening. I don't think robotics is going to do shit. I think it's going to be it's so down the road.
I think there's some categories though, Tony. Like as an example, like when, one of the businesses that I owned, I had a publishing company in the US, and I had that for about 10 years. And I expanded the business in Michigan to Buffalo, New York. And we had big factories. We had a couple 100,000 square feet in Detroit, had 180,000 square feet in Buffalo. We had a big company. And you talk about changing and dynamic changes. Is when I got in and got involved in that company, I took a look at it and really did some value engineering in the business. Looked at it and said, at the time that I bought the company, we were very product focused. We were just product focused, which meant we had customers. We looked at it and said, this just doesn't make sense. This lends itself for me coming back of having that corporate experience. It was the discipline to do some value engineering. So I learned that whole process of being with the big corporations. So I applied those skill sets into the company. And, our business was okay at the time. So I looked at it and I said, innovation wise, let's change our business and let's get into being a product centric business as opposed to a customer centric basis. And we shifted our business in creating legacy type products. So we created legacy books and campaigns around baseball, football, hockey, basketball. And we had all the major sports. We had contracts with NFL and NBA, MLB and so forth, NHL. And we did a lot of players where we created that product centric. And the reason I say that is, and bring this up, is that that's a type of category that will never change because these books are a legacy of somebody's career. So let's use Gordie Howe because he was a great example, a great hockey player.
Yeah.
I met Gordie Howe when I was a very young boy. I did business with him when I was corporate at Nestle, when I was sort of mid-career. And at the end of his career, or towards the end of his life, I got a chance to work with him and do this legacy book, which was absolutely it was just fantastic for me. So we created this whole category, shifted the business from being product-centric to customer-centric to product-centric, shifted the business to almost 80% of our business. And our profitability of the company went from very, very small percentages to double-digit growth and fast-paced growth. And the nice thing about a product like that is that people, consumers and fans were seeking that product. So they wanted an autograph. So the one thing I do say is when it comes to technology and stuff, like memorabilia products are never going to go to AI. They're never going to go to that area.
Of course not. Nobody
wants a virtual autograph. Somebody, if you meet a hockey player, if you sit down and you meet Matthews and you're somewhere and he signs an autograph, that's a personal experience. Yeah. There's no AI that's ever going to do that. So
that's right.
Well, the problem with that is that the upcoming sort of consumer doesn't give a shit about that stuff. Just like the classic cars. I went to a car auction, the Barrett-Jackson.
Yeah.
And I watched who's buying all these classic cars, right? In the audience. I sat there for 3 days and I'm looking at, okay, this is not the first show I've been at. So this is the one just recently. And I'm looking at the buyers and they're like, you think there are any young guys there under the age of 40 or buying anything pre-1999? Nope. It's all the old guys buying the old cars, trading them. What do they buy? What do the young guys? So they don't give a shit about muscle cars, history, even though these cars are works of art to me, right? Like a 63 split window Vet, or a 69 Z28
you're right.
a 57 Bel Air.
I would agree with you.
Right. And so the youth or the upcoming consumer, they're more into sort of brand, not like the nostalgia of it. Just that's why memorabilia in general, sports memorabilia, unless of course excluding sort of the high end, products and stars. Nobody, but you go to silent auctions, fundraisers. There used to be guys bidding up these things 500, 600, 800, 1,200, 1,500.
Of course,
nobody
Tony.
touches them anymore.
But that's why they call it memorabilia.
Yeah,
from the past. You have to understand. We're not discussing why the situation come like this. And that's where you got to go to the boxer because he has a knowledge normal people doesn't have. See, you miss a very important point. I told you a couple of weeks ago. All of these young people now, they have a limitation of this information from here. So the part of their brain before 1960, 1955, I'll give an example, right? Mm-hmm. When you listen to music, you could hear all the different sound, the different frequency of the music in those days because you train your mind to use those parts of the brain to hear the triangle, the synthesizer, the electric bass. Now they make the music, when they mix it all, like they crunch it. Yeah. So they don't care who did the music. It's just a sound for your car. Yeah. So we just download it. They don't care who the producer, who the bass player, who the arranger. They don't care. So AI,
that's my point.
But Tony, right? but to that point, I mean, if you take a look at some of the younger generations that are coming up.
Yeah.
I mean, the categories of music. Like the 70s music is still a very popular,
of course, because number one,
and it's got the mix still of the music that before you squashed it and brought it all.
But they even when they remake it or remaster it, they call it. Well, let's remaster it. What do?
Yeah, they
crush it because they're not catered to our generation. I'm older than you. Yeah. They cater to the kids. So I always use my metaphora. That means to take it out.
Throw it outside.
Throw them outside. For the world today, AI is a sex. If you have a sex electronically, you're going to reach the conclusion the same way. If you use electric robot to give you sex. Mm-hmm. The point is, we're not electronic.
Hold on. Men will reach the same conclusion. I don't know about women.
This is what I'm trying to say.
Maybe.
Babe, you said a very good point, you see. Human beings still have intrinsically inside the soul, if you believe in those kind of things. I believe in God, That's why I'm a champion. He made me a champion. If you believe in these things, a human being have to have a feeling. AI doesn't have the feeling.
So, hey, Tony, just on that. No, you hold on a second. I just want to answer the question. Like you said, women, you don't know about that. Like the power tools that are out there today are pretty efficient. That's why they call it do-it-yourselfers.
Yeah.
That's a whole category.
Tony, to make it a joke.
I don't know. I don't know how many, honestly. All
right, just go back to the punching.
Hold on. I don't know how many women would like to pleasure themselves with a power drill. I don't know. Maybe
Black and Decker. He works for them. He knows what they make.
Black and Decker. It used to be called Black and Pecker, but they changed it because they couldn't say that's not appropriate. You're not supposed to Sunday. So, but AI. One thing about AI that these robots they don't have nuance. They can't say, the guy goes, can you make it a little bit extra al dente? The robot goes, no, go fuck yourself.
No, Tony, that I did. So when you're talking about what's the next generation, I think the robots, like as I use that example of these guys in Oakville, I mean, that robot is going to be trained where he's going to have a component of AI to it and it's going to adjust. It's going to say,
I don't know. I've been working the AI for 3.5 years and I see tremendous value in simulation and what it's been working, and I've learned a lot about it. But there's certain things that that's why I think it's really overblown. It's going to take a lot of, anything physically that you need to do. AI can't replace. A robot will never be able to make a bed.
Understand.
Never be able to make a bed in a hotel room.
I understand.
Take the condoms from under the bed and throw them in the garbage.
So you always have to talk to sex. That's not right.
Always that way. But Tony, you take let's use AI robot. Mm-hmm. In a food service, let's go to a commissary as an example. You buy a robot, let's just say example, it's 40,000 CapEx dollars, today's dollars. Mm-hmm. And you take a look at that and you amortize that over a 10-year span, even a 5-year span. Do the numbers backwards that person can work. That person can work 20 hours a day. Now, keep in mind, they don't need a break. They don't need a lunch break. They don't have to take vacation. There's a lot of synergies that come into that whole technology. And then I'll take a look at labor. Look at our labor rates today. They're going through the roof.
Yeah, but
and a robot's going to you break that down on your capital expenditure, 50 cents an hour.
I think I don't know about that. I think.
Well, I know you don't know about it because you don't know what I'm talking about.
No, I do know what you're talking about. I have a hotel client. I have a hotel client in New York that uses an AI powered luggage delivery system. Okay.
Yeah. I'm talking about.
Hold on. I'm just saying it's a robot that delivers the luggage to your room. You check in. Let's say you're early. You put it in the storage. When your room's ready, they bring the robot delivers the luggage to your room. Right. Okay. So. And it's AI powered, but it needs a level of direction or into AI without direction and learning.
Yeah,
it's so of course I agree. Like if you have a cookie cutter making a Big Mac, sure, put in the back. Sure, the robotics have been around for decades, building cars, building machinery, circuit boards. It's all robots, right?
For sure.
I don't know if you're going to get a housekeeper that's going to come and clean your house and it's going to be a robot. I doubt it.
But the problem we got
make you a dinner. I don't know.
The problem we got
when
here.
You think about it, we go back as kids as we were growing up. We used to watch that cartoon show called The Jetsons.
Yeah.
Almost everything on The Jetsons has come to real life.
Like what?
Absolutely.
Flying car? No.
Pretty close.
They have places like China,
robots.
You know who got it right? Back to the Future when they filmed it in 1985 and they went to 2050. Did they get it right?
Oh, they got it right.
They didn't get anything right. They got the whole thing. Their whole vision was off. Did you see the clothes people were wearing and Back to the Future?
I think we can't see the forest for the trees. I think we missed the point here. We talk about these things. You got almost 9 billion people on the earth. If you got all the robots who control one bank machine can do a job at 10,000 people, it's not going to make a mistake, right?
Yeah, that's what they say.
But here's something very stupid because I'm a boxer, so I'm punchy. I lose control, right? Point is, once I unplug the robot, it's finished. Yeah. Your bank machine is dead. Nobody got the money. It's going to be big trouble.
Oh, of course.
So when you control the people like that because of your technology, there's going to be a human problem here, my friend. Yeah. That's what everybody forget about. Everybody now hustle to make money. The competition in their company, I want to make a champion boxer. We're missing the whole point. See, you're only here for a short time, and you better do the right thing while you're here because you got the generation coming after you. Never mind the thinking about yourself. What about the kids? What are you going to create with those kids?
Yeah. So I see it like what I'm developing and stuff that I'm working on is what can you still need a person, but you can use AI to replicate that person, but that person still monitors the AI, right? Monitors the automation. As opposed to saying, here it is, just do it. There is no monitoring.
Well, I think
human
Tony,
intervention.
as long as you're teaching and or training or directing in the AI on the person at the top, I mean, AI will execute at the next level.
Yeah, it's a great task. It's a great to do things autonomously.
JT, answer this question. This is your interview. We have a fascination with the way you're talking nice. Tell me the truth now. On a moral level, as a human being in your heart, now where's the world to sit for you? What do you want to see now? You're a successful businessman. You're talking AI, GI, FA. It doesn't matter. NFG, doesn't matter. Point is, inside your heart on a human level.
Yeah.
Because you must love somebody. So you must have those kind of human feeling, right?
Yeah, of course.
The problem, the biggest threat we have on this world today, we're being dehumanized. So now, how do you view business now when you're in your heart? So you're going to make a lot of money, but a lot of people are not going to benefit.
Yeah, I think,
example though.
Yeah, but you asked earlier, one of your questions earlier is, what is it do you like the new or do you like the old? I think there's got to be a hybrid. I think there's got to be a hybrid that says we can't throw out all of what we've learned. Yet we can't stop from what we haven't learned. So I think there's got to be a mix of those two that blend well. I think we as in general, I think we as human beings just got to get a little kinder. I think we're too hard on each other. I mean, we live in a great country. We live in a very mixed cultural country. And we have so many divides already. It's like crazy.
We can thank the politician for that, though.
Yeah, well, we can to a large degree. Yeah. But at the same token, we all get up in the morning. We all put our pants on, our shoes on the same way. I mean, there's got to be some compassion for the mixed cultures that are out there. And again, it could be different in different parts of the country, and it shouldn't be, but it is.
Right.
But I just
so you like. Yeah, somebody asked me this question. You have 3 people drowning. One is your kid. Who do you save?
Good question. It's a very tough one.
Where does your compassion come in for the other people? Who do you save? Do you save your kid first, or do you save the other 2 people that you don't know? Yeah, that's a good theory, right? Very, so that's it, and that's the end of the day.
Short
Everybody
answer,
looks
Tony,
after themselves.
Save all 3.
You can't. You can only save one.
Let's get back to AI just 1 minute now. Long time ago, National Geographic, I think way back in the 80s, I read an article about the United States. They have a place called super farms. These places, they make enough food every day to feed the world 2.5 times over. Yeah. Why we got a hunger problem in the world today? Why? I'll tell you why. Yeah. Because a lot of evil in this world. And the only thing that's evil in the world is not Mother Nature. It's not the animal. It's the people. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, they're evil because you see those little kids in Africa and they have a cataract, they can't see. They have to go through life, no mother, no father, and they can't even get the food because they can't see. Really? You can't fix these kids up? You got your fancy AI, you got your fancy beach house in Trinidad and Malibu. You're talking about the Jeff Bezos, all these great guys. So why? Why do you take care of the people? Why? Because we're dreaming.
Yeah.
As long as human beings live on this earth, it's going to be.
But that's my point. My point is when you talk, everybody talks compassion, but really when it comes down to it,
money.
When you have a choice, you look after yourself first. That's the way people are. And that's why you would always save your kid over to other people drowning in the...
Exactly the point.
It's just the way it is.
When I box...
So it's all bullshit, right? What I'm saying.
When I box, you think I fight for money? No. I fight because I don't like the guy. He's a son of a bitch, so I beat him up. I kill him. That's it. I don't want him to die, but he got to take a few nice shots.
I thought you fought so that he doesn't beat the shit out of you.
No, he can't. First of all, I'm a champion. I fight 15 guys in one day once. Mike Tyson, Larry Holmes together. 15 in one day. I win all the fight. Oh yeah. In Calabria, though.
In Calabria, it was the Calabrese Boxing Festival.
Yeah. The Association
of Calabria. Yeah. So you went into the sort of merchandising and promotional business, and how is that still like viable today? Is there still a lot of that going on? Or
it very much is. Has it changed? Yes, it's changed. But I mean, the simple answer to it, Tony, is go in your own house and take a look. Whether you're wearing a shirt with a Nike logo, or you've got a hat, or a coffee mug, or a beer mug, or anything that you're going to find things that are in your house that are going to be logoed. Yeah. So at the end of the day, the answer is it's not going to go away. Right. I mean, AI is not going to change that because you can't put it. Well, I guess you could put an AI logo on a cup, but it might be hot and it's going to be hard. That changes. The hologram. Like, yeah, of course. Again,
it's hot water.
Dynamically, that's using AI to change a category to continue it going. So I think AI could make some categories continue on, just have a different approach, just have a different look to it. Right.
I mean, AI, we could have 2-hour discussion on AI. Of course. Because AI, really, what does AI mean to somebody? AI, artificial intelligence. AI is like it's like saying Windows or Mac. It's a platform. AI is not a technology. It's actually an acronym for,
But Tony, in terms of when you ask about the category, so as an example, we've got one of the most exciting categories of sport coming to North America in 26 with FIFA World Cup coming to Mexico, Canada, US. And, I've been involved with World Cup promotional type products for the last 30 years and worked on many, many World Cups and working now on the FIFA 2026 World Cup. And, the type of products that come with that, whether it be a soccer ball or a flag or a hat, a jersey, a scarf, all kinds of categories can come. That becomes a premium item, but it's because of the nation. It's because you're proud of where you come from, and people will always flock to that product. Yeah. So, I mean, there's a category in premium. So it may have shifted, but there's a premium category opportunity, which is great. Great to work on.
That point you make now, to me, that's confusing. I'm more confused than ever because I understand the patriotism, you love your country. But these days with the migration they got all over the world, I don't know who's cheering for who, what country is who.
You wait till FIFA comes. You can go around the areas and you're going to see. You'll find a little Italy. You'll find every category, find their own little place. And don't cross them because then you're going to be boxing.
Exactly, JT. My point is when I go to Poland, I want to meet the Polish people. When I go to Italy, I want to meet Italian people. When I go to India, I want to meet Indian people. Yeah, well, that's the point. That's why Ireland, they got the protest over there. Yeah. Because if those guys over there, they bring all their players from those countries they're not doing too good. Mm-hmm. They bring all their mind, they're not doing too good mind. And they bring it to the new place.
That's
and they make that place terrible.
Anyway.
I'm not finished yet.
But we don't want to get into
we got to get into it. Even if we do 4 parts, I don't care. We got to finish the argument here. Because we're talking business. Okay. 5 minutes, we talk money. In 5 minutes, the conversation is dead. People are not suffering from that problem. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The people are suffering from injustice. When are we going to have this conversation? Well, okay, JT, how can you make this world better for you, the remainder of your time on this earth? What would you like to see?
Oh man, that's this might have to be 6 episodes for crying out loud.
Well, I mean, we can have discussions, this little chat that we've had, we probably have 10 podcasts, right? But the thing is that nobody really, nobody has the answer. I think there is, there's an agenda at play that's bigger than us. And what we have to do is, if we all thought about, this is just me, if we all thought about, this idea that sure you can help people and you can, be virtuous. Is that the word? Virtuous? You can,
virtuous. That's nice. Yeah. Virtuous is a good,
you can
word.
Be,
Yeah.
Whatever you can. But at the end of the day, you have to, if you can take care of your family and you can take care of your own unit, and everybody does that, what's going to happen? It's going to propagate. If your expectation is I have to have support from people, I need money, I need welfare, I come here, like I need all these people to support me because I'm either lazy or I'm not capable, or I came here and I can't walk, I'm in a wheelchair, I'm 80 years old, or whatever the issues are. If those people stopped sucking the blood out of and just focused on taking care of their family and did whatever it took to be self-sustaining within that family unit or that unit, then there wouldn't be so much reliance and dependency of like what Canada is now. We're a dependent country. We're dependent on the government.
That's a good
Most
point.
people are. So companies like us, we create jobs, we employ people, we pay taxes up, and we're small business, and we're the first to be harassed if you're late on this filing or you're late on that.
Yeah.
We're harassed and we're demeaned.
Good job.
Yeah.
And we're demeaned, and we're not allowed to just we're not allowed to take care of, and I call a business a family too. Like, I'm not just saying like the people here. We're always put under pressure to say, we're not able to innovate or develop or take care of ourselves. We have to be reliant on, and I think that's the issue. We have to look after ourselves first and be responsible with who we brought into the world, how we help them be self-sufficient.
Yeah, but Tony, I mean, you made a comment earlier on where you said, we asked, we just currently just had an election. You said you didn't vote.
No.
Because your vote doesn't count.
It doesn't.
Well, if you don't vote, of course it's not going to count.
So
but
the vote
you have to.
John, in my opinion, a vote, I already knew the outcome before. I knew the outcome before. I knew it. I knew what was going to happen. I called it. Like I could show you stuff that I wrote about this because people don't believe me. I have emails. Like I said, NDP will be delisted. Liberals will win. Poilievre, whatever his name, is going to fail. And I called it. And so what difference would it have made? Because really the vote is a way for the powers that be, the globalists, whatever you want to call them, including Chili con Carne, including Poilievre, whatever his name is. They're all, it doesn't matter. They're picked. They're told what to do. And the outcome is predetermined. The best thing that could happen to Canada, which to me is unfortunate, but is the West breaks off and goes with the U.S.
Oh, that could be soon.
I hope so, because it'll teach us. It'll teach the government here, whatever you called it, a bit important lesson. Because if the people speak up, this country will fall apart. And I think Quebec, they have a referendum next year. If they decide to vote, separate, God bless them. To me, this idea that one little entity, and look what they did with the Freedom Convoy, the whole thing about COVID, the vaccine, all bullshit, and it's all bullshit. And what they did, like this seizing bank accounts, putting people in jail for what? Because they disagreed with you. So there was a guy here, I'm ranting. There's a guy here that had a smoked barbecue.
Yeah.
You could go to Shoppers, you could go to Loblaws, you could go to Costco, you go to all these big box stores, but this guy couldn't stay open. Why?
I remember, yeah.
They threw him in jail. And what is that? That's why this whole idea, that's what my point. The point is they want to control and make you dependent.
Hey, Tony, have you ever given it this thought on politics? Maybe if we actually pay these people properly, let's put business guys in who want to take the job and get compensated. What do we do? You know what? If you throw up peanuts, you get monkeys. That's what happens. So you know what? Why don't we raise the bar like other countries do? Right. Bring in some qualified people who can actually do the job, think straight, think about it as a business.
Yes.
I always remember there's always going to have to be room in there for the compassion, because you do have people who do need the system because they're not capable on their own.
I understand.
But putting that aside, if you were to compensate these people properly, and you bring in, you're going to get better people who are going to rise up.
What do you mean by compensate properly? They're already the highest paid people on the planet. Politicians are the most. Yeah. How do you go from making 100 grand a year to having 15, 20 million in net worth? Tell me about that. They're the most corrupt.
But that's a different story.
They're all corrupt. Yeah, the only guy I would have voted for is Maxime Bernier. That's the guy I would have voted for. Yeah. Because he is a legitimate disruptor, and they didn't give him any time. Nothing, zero, no audio, no time, no FaceTime, no debate time. Why? Because he's a threat. Okay. And that's the thing. So you spoke to, what's his name, didn't you, a couple of weeks ago?
Who's that?
Poliev?
Poliev.
Yeah, Poliev, whatever
Pierre
his name is.
Poliev.
Yeah. Now he's got to go to Calgary, Alberta, because he lost his seat. Now he's got to go get one over there because, it's the way he can win.
Yeah, I'll tell you. That's
Loser.
That's a shock. I mean, we had the same thing in provincial elections with
I remember. Yeah.
Anyway,
you're right.
Yeah. Anyway, so like I said, we could have discussions and
we're going to have.
Listen,
but Tony, you bring up a really good point. I mean, as being an entrepreneur and have been an entrepreneur for decades now, this country makes it extremely difficult to do business. Absolutely. There's no doubt. I mean, I don't know how you move ahead when you've got so many hurdles in front of you that are politically driven. And it's not just for business. It's like, look at our housing. All they do is talk about, we don't have enough housing. We don't have enough housing. These guys don't even know how to, the municipalities don't issue permits, for crying out loud. The builders are pulling their hair out. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's nonsense.
It's
nonsense. It's because they want control. That's it. Yeah. They want to control the people. They want to say, well, you got to live in this housing over here. Anyway, it is what it is.
If you get a chance, both of you, if you probably know already, there's a thing called the Declowered Piven Strategy, written by two professors in 1966. They come out of Columbia University. You read this. They designed a system of bringing a whole capitalistic democratic country down to nothing by making the people need the government. Yeah. It's a very strategic. Yeah. Read this one. Declowered Piven Strategy.
Yeah.
Read it, okay? And then you see what's going on in the world.
Yeah, it's happening. So it is what it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because I think we grew up through a time when it was so much optimism and encouraging and innovation and
creative,
and now we've got it all squashed.
But when I say it makes it very difficult to run a business, that's generated by the fact of the government putting all the rules and regulations. But let's strip that aside. We have a lot of people who have come to this country who are who do have skills. There's no doubt about it. When you come to a country of this size and this magnitude, I mean, there are so many opportunities, and you got to create your own opportunity. So if you're going to be an entrepreneur, whether you're knocking on doors, sweeping somebody's sidewalks, or raking their lawn, or whatever it may be, there are opportunities. This country just makes it too easy for people, especially come out of COVID. They let you sit at home and they paid you all that kind of money. I mean, we made a stupid society after that. Since COVID, I don't know about you guys, I find that people they got brain freeze. They forget about it. They don't want to go back to work. I'm a corporation. I'm telling you to come back to work, and you're telling me I can't come back to work. Well, you don't have a job. I'm sorry.
Hypnotized.
I mean, it's ridiculous what's going on.
So what are you? What's in the future for you? Like what's your sort of, what are you doing these days?
Well, I mean, as of now, I'm working with a lot of young minds in terms of entrepreneurial spirited people. I like to give, if they ask questions, I give them answers. I'm happy to help. I love to hear about new ideas. I always like to keep my horizons wide so that you never know what may come. Of making some investments in some of these opportunities and buying into it, coaching, giving some coaching to it. But I'm not done. Like I'm ready to take charge and continue going forward.
Good. How good. You deserve it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way to go. We're not washed up yet. In fact, we're probably far from. I mean, I say just generally people with a couple of decades of experience, I think are more valuable today than they ever been.
Tony, that's so important. So you do take a look at these big corporations who are downsizing and getting rid of a lot of the knowledge base. Again, there's one thing in business, whether you're corporate or you're entrepreneurial, you can't lose what you've learned. And to cut it off and throw those people aside and push them out is ridiculous. I mean, it just, it's just a waste of time and talent when you let people just ride off into the sunset and not take advantage of their knowledge base. It's just, to me, that's just ridiculous.
That's why you're a successful businessman. You have the right attitude, number one. You have two things, open mind, open heart. That should be success. I think anyway.
And open wallet sometimes.
Open what?
Open wallet.
Yeah, well, my wallet's been open for 40 years. It has been closed. It's nonstop. You know what I mean? How many, you have, I don't
Why
know.
do they make women's purses? They have zippers. Men's wallets don't have a zipper on it. I don't get it.
Take a guess. Take a guess. I'll give, there's not, it's
pretty point, eh?
Pretty obvious.
Men's wallets should have a padlock on it.
Oh yeah, I know a few friends of mine that have padlocks on their wallet. I went to a stag and I said, "Where's Frank?" "Who, Frank Funzerlo?" He wasn't there because it was $150 and his funds are low. Called Frank Funzerlo.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Frank Funzerlo? He's not here. Yeah. So some tight ass guys.
Yeah. Me, my high school, I had one friend that he played the guitar. He's so cheap, his wallet had the cobwebs. He never opened it.
That's right.
Like Adam's family wallet.
He's like Frank Funzerlo. I love that one. Yeah. But then you get suckers like us, like me anyway. I don't know. I don't respect money. That's probably why I don't give a shit.
Good, Tony, because I was asking for a couple $100 later on.
No problem. You know me.
Hey? You gotta get a hard.
So it doesn't matter. Whatever. We're here. The days are long and life is short. So that's how it works.
Okay, so are we going to conclude this?
No, not yet.
Okay, I want to ask. I asked a hockey question again.
I want to talk about.
We're gonna. You gotta.
Did you vote, JT? Did you vote?
Of course, I voted.
Who did you vote for?
Well, hey,
Hold on a sec. You voted in Oakville?
Yes, I did.
Did you vote with anybody with a vowel in their last name?
We'll leave it at
I don't know. Who was in our community was like Anan Manana Nanad and that I don't know. And she won, of course. They came up to me. I was on the house I bought. We bought. We were doing some work outside, and the owners we bought it from had the liberal sign there. I'm not liberal. I don't give a shit. Anyway, and I took the sign down and I threw it in the back.
Frisbee.
And they came by. These two guys came by and day before the election on Sunday, whatever it was. Oh, we just want to make sure we have your vote tomorrow. I go, sorry, I vote the other way.
You told them that?
I told them that.
Holy smoke.
And they went like, well, we have you down at on the thing that vote, I said, yeah, move along. Move along. You don't need to talk to me anymore. We're done here. And then, of course, they end up winning in our neighborhood anyway. So I can't wait till.
Well, we can agree to disagree, Tony. But I do think that there's other parts of the world where you'll have an election.
Okay, how many times?
And on the ballot? No, hang on. Let me finish. You got your point in. Let me get my point in. Other parts of the world you'll have on a ballot. There'll be three names, and it'll be the same name 1, 2, and 3, and you cast your ballot. At least here we have a degree of democratic society that gives you and allows you opportunity. So, like I say, we can agree to disagree.
Hold on.
That's your
Can I ask you
opinion.
one question? How many times have you voted in your life?
I've always voted.
How many times did it vote and the person you voted for got into power?
I would say the batting averages are pretty
not
good.
in the last 14 years because I know you and you did. So that means the last 14 years of your life, your vote meant shit. That's all I'm going to say.
And I need one more question for you, Mr. JT.
Yes,
That's
sir.
14
years. Democracy and fairness. How come there was 85 names on the ballot to where Pierre Pelev was there?
Yeah, what's going on?
90 names.
What the hell is that about?
Not 5 names.
Okay.
Yeah.
85 and 90 of the 90% of
democracy.
them.
I thought we were talking about entrepreneurialism. Why are we getting into politics?
That's a beautiful thing about improvisation for the nation.
For the nation.
It's we can just go and talk about stuff. It doesn't really matter. That's why we don't like it. Our podcast. If you like listen, I forgot to mention this. If you
mention it, Tony.
If you like, we're slowly growing our audience. If you like what you hear, don't like it, just subscribe to us. We appreciate it. Every subject or every discussion is you never know what you're going to get. So that's what's kind of unique about it. I don't like podcasts that say, well, all we're going to talk about is adultery. Yeah, who wants to talk about that? Who wants to hear that every week about how people cheat on each other, right?
Remember that box that used to have always the different snack. It's called Bits and Bytes.
Yeah.
And the guy used to say, next handful, whole new ball game.
Whole new ball game. That's what we are.
That's
a good one. We're a whole new ball game every week.
Bits and Bytes, yeah.
Hey, I'm glad you said a ball game, not a hockey game. Aha! I got you now,
got
man.
Me. You got me.
Well
but
done.
no, you said ball game.
You said
the
ball game.
advertiser said ball game.
Advertiser said, next handful, a whole new ball game.
Right.
Ball game.
I didn't
That's
say
right.
it.
Didn't
They
say
said it.
hockey
I'm just repeating
okay.
the catchphrase.
Yeah, well,
You know why?
you could have paraphrased to it, but you didn't, so you took ball game. So we'll stick with that.
Well, you know.
In baseball, you have lots of time for snack. Yeah.
Sure, that's why everybody's 300 pounds in the audience.
Yeah, but I know. But the hockey, you have one hot dog, one beer, because it's going to cost you $95 at Maple Leaf Gardens if you go to
whatever.
Toronto.
They should be promoting Ozempic in the stadiums. That's what they should be doing because everyone's 350 pounds plus. Watching
Yeah, but
baseball.
give you diarrhea, Ozempic. Plus the throat, plus you can't swallow, plus you lose your hearing.
Yeah.
Plus those are side effects.
Those
But
are
other
side-
than
who
that, they work
cares?
good,
Yeah. But you're going to lose weight without working out.
Oh, you're going to nice and trim, man.
There you go.
Nobody wants to go to the gym anymore. Take a pill.
You're going to be
I have
blind
2
and deaf.
people in my office.
You
that are
lose
on
your
that shit.
sense. Yeah, really?
Oh yeah. They
Fire
went,
them.
They went from
Really?
big to they're almost invisible.
Wow.
I go, what happens when you stop taking this shit? What's going to happen? It's
You're
going to be
gonna
like
go back out.
It's going to be like what's the
Of course it is.
professor?
What do you think?
What was that show with Eddie Murphy, Professor Clump, whatever?
Clump, yeah.
Nutty Professor. When,
Nutty Professor,
when
yeah.
the thing wore off, that movie there was very visionary because the drug they were making was like Ozempic. It make you very thin, and then when you stop taking, you become twice as big as you were. You're gonna have asses you're gonna be the ass square footage is gonna go from this to this.
You gotta be careful though when you take that stuff. I know one of my very close friends, he has diabetes. He'd take it and they have a very, very bad stomach trouble for 3 years. Burned everything inside.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate because
How long you been on
you
it?
turn on I'm not on that shit. I've never taken that stuff. I don't even take pills.
He's in
I don't
shape,
take pills.
athlete. Look at him, great.
But he wears a shirt that causes optical illusion. It makes you look
it
thinner
looks
than you.
good.
It
I feel
creates.
like I'm on acid when I
No,
look
that's
at him.
optical
I
illusion.
love
Wear
it.
that shirt makes you look thinner.
I feel like I'm hearing a couple of Grateful Dead songs right now.
that's an optical
Hey, did you go
illusion.
to Woodstock? You said Western New York. You must have
He's
lived
not
in
that
Woodstock.
old. Give him a break.
No, he's 50 years old.
No, he's
45.
he's
Yeah, 45. Thank you.
I almost went to Woodstock myself. I'm Woodstock age.
I went to the second version.
there you go.
The one in '99.
There you go.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
no mud over there.
No,
nice
no
bathrooms
mud.
with
Sure.
the chandelier.
Yeah, yeah.
No, we
Chandelier in
shit
the
in the
back.
woods in
That's
'69.
right. You
I
shit
tell
in
you.
the woods back
Oh
then.
yeah, and have sex in the lake over there too. Not me. I was too young. But
A lot of new Canadians, they go down to Niagara on the lake and Niagara Peninsula and they think they're at Woodstock.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
Get in the
know.
woods.
I hear now with Sega Beach, they dig holes in the ground and they take shits in them.
Yeah, they think
cover
it's
the tent.
Woodstock. They think they're at
It's
Woodstock.
like Woodstock. There you go.
I used to spend time up there, Saga Beach, very bad. They put the tent
Oh, yeah.
because they don't want to use the
Okay.
public
Oh,
toilet.
okay, let's not go that way.
Yeah.
Terrible.
It's okay. It's okay.
I
But
was there.
yeah, so you golf, right? You're a golfer?
I am.
What do you think of indoor golf places?
I
What's
think
your
they're
feeling
great.
on those
I mean,
things?
Again, I take a look at coming back to being a guy who played sports at a young age, and had we had simulators in those days, man, oh man, I mean, the game would, even for me, the game would have been that much different. So when I look at any type of sport that uses simulation, and golf's a great example because you take a look at what we've got out there in the golf industry right now, and on the pro side of things, whether they're with whatever tour they're with. You take a look at some of these young guys coming out, and women, especially women, because I mean their accuracy is phenomenal, and it's all mechanical, and it's mechanical because they spent the time in the simulator. So a 7-iron, they know from 10 o'clock to 9 o'clock to 8 o'clock to 7 o'clock how far that's going to go. And after you hit thousands of balls in the simulator,
Yeah.
I mean you are going to get conditioned, trained. Your body's going to be conditioned and trained, and it just makes for all. So when you come back and talk about AI. Simulators are that version of AI for training a professional sports person.
Yeah,
It's true.
I mean,
We've got a good point,
since
yeah.
that league came out on the TV,
Oh, it's huge.
it's really helped the simulator business as I see it. But also, there's some really great training tools that are AI driven. So it'll take your swing data, and it'll find the closest professional golfer that's like your swing, and it'll start to mold you, train you to give you tips on how to be.
It's like having a base running coach.
Yeah, well, that one you can never get. So one more thing before we go, I want to, because sports, we're all pretty sports, but
Yeah.
what do you think? What do you think of this pickleball phenomenon?
Well,
is that the joke or what?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have a lot of comments about pickleball. Man.
Come on. Now they got pickleball TV. They have a television network for pickleball.
Look, it's one of the fastest growing leisure sports, and they call it a sport. Okay, so
I love playing it, though.
It's huge. It's huge.
I love doing the bag of piss in these old, because everybody I play is over 70 years old.
Well, that's who play pickleball.
And then I put the back.
The court is 3 feet long.
I popped, I think, 3 knees, 2 hips, 4 ankles, and 1 wrist so far. My opponents. I put so much spin, the ball lands and it goes on a 90 degree. They go, oh shit, I'm done. I got to take the rest of the night off.
Yeah.
That's the best thing. And then they go, and then I invented.
Hey, the good news is at least people are out exercising. So that's an important part of it. So it's good for exercise.
They're exercising all right.
Yeah.
You got a 250-pound woman there pickleballing. She can't get past, you can't get across the court, and the court's a third of the size. Anyway, so I started to introduce hockey style chirping to pickleball. I've been already banned by 3 organizations. I go, what is that? You call that? You gonna hit the ball or what? Oh, I got all kinds of chirping on pickleball chirps. It's like unbelievable. So I've been banned by 3 clubs already. Yeah, I chirp these old people like, nice try. What is that? Well, you can't even hit a ball that's plastic with holes in it.
No, but there's an increase of paramedics now coming up because of pickleball.
You play pickleball? Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's too bad because I had a whole different direction I wanted to go today. We went completely different, but that's okay. Yeah, no, because you heard it. Yeah, I believe it. Yeah. There you go. And they took what song for their jingle?
I don't know. It's magic.
Yeah, it's magic. All right.
Yeah,
it's magic. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Mikey, what's that in time? Okay, we're good. That's perfect timing. So, John, JT, thanks for coming today. Appreciate you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, John.
Great,
JT.
Great conversation.
No,
enlightening conversation.
Like lightning.
Nobody, out of our 75 subscribers, maybe 50 will give a shit.
Believe me, at least 45 people went to Woodstock. They're going to listen to this one. I guarantee it. He play Western New York. Famous.
Anyway, so thanks for listening. If you got this far and you like what you hear, please subscribe. We're on Spotify. We're on, what else? We're on iHeart. Yeah. We're on iTunes. We're on YouTube. We're on we're all on the networks. Search for Bring Your Guard Down, because this is what we do. We bring our guard down, like it or hate it.
That's great.
Anyway, so thanks for coming by.
Thanks,
and
thank you, guys.
And
don't forget, everybody, we love you and nobody else.
Ciao.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.